خلافتنا بمسرور فتية عظيم شأنها بين البرية.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to another episode of Beacon of Guidance. This series is a compilation of questions and answers given by Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad ayyadahullahu ta'ala bin Nasrihil Aziz. These are from various virtual mulaqats held with Ahmadis from all over the world. In a virtual mulaqat with the UK Waqf-e-Noor on the 28th of February 2021, His Holiness was asked, those students who are Waqf-e-Noor and studying life sciences such as physics, chemistry and biology, should they focus more on research or pursuing teaching careers? Let's take a look at Hazur's answer.
میرا سوال ہے کہ جو اسٹوڈنٹس جو لائف سائنسز پڑھ رہے ہیں جیسے فزکس کیمسٹری بایولوجی ان کو جو وقفے نو بھی ہیں ان کو کہاں زیادہ زور دینا چاہیے ٹیچنگ کی طرف یا ریسرچ کی طرف؟
دیکھو جی ہمیں تو ہر فیلڈ میں لوگ چاہیے، ریسرچ میں بھی ایم ڈی اسکالر جانے چاہیے، فزکس والے جو ہیں خاص طور پہ، اور بایولوجی پڑھنے والے بایو میڈیکل سائنسز کریں گے اور اس کے بعد ریسرچ میں چلے جائیں. اگر میڈیسن میں داخلہ نہیں ملتا بایولوجی اور کیمسٹری پڑھنے والے کو تو پھر بایو میڈیکل سائنسز میں چلے جائیں. کیمسٹری والا بھی ریسرچ میں جائے، اور اس کے ساتھ ساتھ جو اس لیول کے نہیں ہیں ریسرچ میں جانے والے، ہر شخص ریسرچ میں تو نہیں جا سکتا نا، ہر ایک کا اپنا کیلیبر ہے، اپنا ٹیلنٹ ہے. پھر ان کو ٹیچنگ سیکنڈ پریفرنس ان کی ٹیچنگ ہونی چاہیے. ٹھیک ہے، پہلی پریفرنس ریسرچ، سیکنڈ پریفرنس ٹیچنگ. ٹھیک ہے
جی.
اور لیکن وقفین نو میں سے ہمیں ہر سبجیکٹ میں ٹیچرز بھی چاہیے، لیکن ایک پرسنٹیج چاہیے تاکہ اپنے اسکولوں میں لے سکیں. باقی یہاں کے اسکولوں میں پڑھانے کے لیے ٹیچرز بھی تو چاہیے، اچھے ٹیچر ہوں گے یہاں کے اسکولوں کو بھی تو کم از کم صحیح طرح ان کے مورلس تو بچوں کے اچھے ہو سکیں گے نا، یہ بھی تو دیکھنا ہوگا نا. جتنے ایم ڈی ٹیچر اسکولوں میں جائیں گے اتنے زیادہ مورل ٹریننگ بھی وہاں کے بچوں کی ہو سکے، چاہے وہ کرسچن بچے ہیں یا بدھسٹ ہیں یا ایتھسٹ ہیں یا ایم ڈی بچے ہیں. تو اس لحاظ سے بھی ہمیں دیکھنا چاہیے جہاں جہاں بھی ایم ڈی موجود ہوگا وہ علاوہ اپنے سبجیکٹ کے ایک مورل ٹریننگ بھی دے رہا ہوگا بچوں کو. اس لیے ٹیچنگ بڑا اچھا پروفیشن ہے.
For the third question, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih V ayyadahullahu ta'ala bin Nasrihil Aziz presided over a virtual mulaqat with Waqf-e-Noor from the United Kingdom on Saturday the 7th of May 2022. A member of the audience asked beloved Hazur ayyadahullahu ta'ala bin Nasrihil Aziz what advice would he give to those children who suffer from mental health issues and depression. Let's take a look at Hazur's response.
میرا سوال یہ ہے کہ آپ کی کیا ایڈوائس ہے ان بچوں کے لیے جو مینٹل ہیلتھ اور ڈپریشن کے شکار ہیں؟
کھلی ہوا میں جایا کریں اور پہلے تو وجہ معلوم کریں نا. ان کو اپنے کسی سائیکاٹرسٹ کو دکھانا چاہیے، ان کے ماں باپ کو، ان کے پیرنٹس کو، ان کے بڑے بہن بھائیوں کو کسی سائیکاٹرسٹ کے پاس لے جائیں اور اس کا علاج کریں صحیح طرح، اور اس کی جو تکلیف ہے دور کرنے کی کوشش کریں. ٹھیک ہے. اور پھر یہ ہے کہ یہ نوٹ کرو کہ کس وقت زیادہ ایسی صورت بنتی ہے، دن کے وقت 10-11 بجے بنتی ہے، تو پھر اس وقت تھوڑی سی کھلی ہوا میں باہر جا کے ٹہلیں. ٹھیک ہے. دوسرے یہ ہے کہ اللہ تعالیٰ سے دعا کریں، خود بھی کچھ تھوڑی اپنا بھی ول پاور ہونی چاہیے، ڈٹرمنیشن بھی ہونی چاہیے. اللہ تعالیٰ سے دعا کریں کہ اللہ تعالیٰ مجھے اس فیز میں سے نکالے. تو علاج بھی ہو اور دعا بھی ہو تو انشاءاللہ تعالیٰ ٹھیک ہو جائے گا. اس کے لیے آج کل ایم ٹی اے پہ پروگرام بھی آ رہے ہوتے ہیں، ایک ڈاکٹر صاحب بتا رہے ہوتے ہیں کس طرح دور کی جا سکتی ہے. وہ پروگرام دیکھ لو، اور میرا خیال ہے اس کی آن لائن ریکارڈنگ چل رہی ہوگی، وہاں سے بھی پتہ لگ جاتا ہے. تو وہ دیکھ کے جو ان کے پیرنٹس ہیں یا بڑے بہن بھائی ہیں وہ دیکھ لیں، پھر اس مطابق ٹریٹ کریں. لیکن بہرحال یہ بیماری ہے، اس بیماری کو پوری طرح دیکھنا چاہیے سیریسلی اور ٹریٹ کرنا چاہیے. یہ نہیں کہ مذاق اڑا دیا کسی ڈپریشن والے کا، وہ نہیں کرنا چاہیے. ٹھیک ہے. اور خود بھی استغفار کرو اور نماز پڑھو تو اللہ تعالیٰ پھر اس سے ٹھیک کر دیتا ہے.
For our fourth question on September the 11th, 2021, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih V, Ayyadahullah Ta'ala bin Nasrihil Aziz, led a virtual mulaqat with the UK Khuddam. A Khadim asked beloved Hazur whether Hazur, Ayyadahullah Ta'ala, thinks Scotland will become independent, and where is Hazur's favourite place to visit in Scotland?
Hazur, my question is, do you think that Scotland will become independent as a nation? And I also wanted to ask, where is your favourite place to visit in Scotland?
You see, I'm not a politician. So what I believe is that in this present day world, the safety and security of Scotland or England or Wales and Ireland is in joining together and living together and make a one country under one banner, one flag. That would be better. But if they want independence, okay, we cannot say anything. As far as your question, what is the favorite place in Scotland? There's one place in the Highlands of Scotland is Port Nellen, where I visited. I stayed there for some time. I like that place. Even there are some places, Pitlochry, where you have the river and the boats which goes up and down, the wheel. I like that one also. And even you go beyond that, even on the highlands and the lake. There are so many things there. Scotland is quite a beautiful place, yes. So the places which I have seen, all of them are very beautiful places. Okay?
Inshallah, when you visit Scotland, we will arrange something.
I should take you along with me?
Yes.
Okay.
For the fifth question of this segment, on September the 12th, 2021, Hazur led a virtual mulaqat with Nasratul Ahmadiyya from the UK and the Midlands area. A member of the audience asked Hazur if Hazur would accept political authority if given. Let's take a look at Hazur's answer.
Hazur, in the past we have seen examples of prophets and khulafa who, as well as being religious leaders, also had political authority. My question is, if you were given the opportunity to have political authority, would you accept it?
In the past, not all the prophets were given political authorities. In Islam, the Holy Prophet ﷺ was the prophet who had the religious authority, final of the prophets, and political authority, and he was the head of the state as well after migrating to Medina. Not before that time. When he was in Makkah, he was persecuted and being tortured very brutally, right? He and his companion. And then, after his demise, 4 rightly guided Khulafa Rashidin, also had the political authorities. But now, in the time of the Prophet Muhammad, neither Prophet Muhammad as a prophet, of subordinate prophet of the Holy Prophet nor his Khulafa will have that political authorities. All the countries will be run by their political governments or by their governments to run their affairs. And Khalifa of the time will be the spiritual head of those countries. This is why it is written in the Quran that if 2 Muslim countries, 2 Muslim parties fight with each other, then try to settle down their matters. And if they stop fighting, then well and good. Otherwise, the person who is committing cruelty, making unfair attack on the neighboring country or the Muslim country, then stop his hands by force. And the Khalifa of the time will ask the other governments that you will do it. So the Khalifa of the time now will only be the spiritual leader. He has nothing to do with the politics of the country. But the heads of the states will seek guidance from the Khalifa of the time.
For the sixth question of this segment, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih V, Ayyadahullah Ta'ala bin Nasrihil Aziz, presided over a virtual mulaqat with Nasirat and student members of Lajna Imaila from Belgium on December the 11th, 2022. Beloved Hazur, Ayyadahullah Ta'ala, was asked by a member how to create the best balance between student and married life.
मेरा सवाल है कि एक वाक़िफ़ाए नौ के हैसियत से मैं अपनी स्टूडेंट और शादीशुदा ज़िंदगी को किस तरह से आसान तरीके से बैलेंस कर सकती हूँ। जज़ाकल्लाह प्यारे हुज़ूर।
वक्फ़े नौ भी हो और स्टूडेंट भी हो और शादीशुदा भी हो। अच्छा, तो ये तो बड़ी अच्छी बात है। शादीशुदा हो तो पहले शादी घर का हक अदा करो, अगर बच्चे हो जाते हैं तो बच्चों की तरबियत करो। और वक्फ़े नौ का पहला ये काम है कि अपने बच्चों की तरबियत करे और उनको नेक और अहमदी बनाए ताकि वो जमात के लिए मुफीद एसेट बन सकें। और स्टूडेंट जहाँ तक हो, जब तक बच्चों की निगहदाश्त है उस वक्त तक अपना गैप ईयर ले लो या गैप का कुछ अर्सा ले लो और फिर तालीम मुकम्मल करने के लिए बाद में जब बच्चों की तरबियत हो जाए या बच्चे इस काबिल हो जाएं या हमारे घर में कोई संभालने वाला बच्चों को हो, फिर पढ़ाई भी मुकम्मल कर लो अपनी। ठीक है, बहुत सारी औरतें हैं, अहमदी औरतें हैं जो शादियां उनकी हो गई, उनके बच्चे हो गए, 3-3 4-4 बच्चे हो गए, फिर उन्होंने पढ़ाइयाँ की। मसलन बाज़ डॉक्टर ऐसी हैं जिन्होंने शुरू में बुनियादी तालीम हासिल की मेडिसिन की, उसके बाद स्पेशलाइज़ किया तो बाद में किया जब बच्चे थोड़े से बड़े हो गए, या दूसरी फील्ड में जाने वाले भी इस तरह की हैं औरतें। तो इंसाफ का तकाज़ा तो ये, पहले अपना घर संभालो, अपने बच्चों की तरबियत करना है, उनको नेक साले खादम दीन बनाना है, उनको मुल्क के लिए, कौम के लिए, दीन के लिए अच्छा इंसान बनाना है। ठीक है, जितनी भी तालीम हासिल की है उसको उन पर इस्तेमाल करो, उनको बनाओ। और उसके बाद अगर वक्त मिलता है तो फिर पढ़ाई करके मज़ीद अपनी पढ़ाई को भी इम्प्रूव करो। और अगर किसी प्रोफेशन में हो तो ठीक है, डॉक्टर बन रहे हैं या टीचर बन रही है तो फिर वहाँ इम्प्रूव करके अपने काम भी कर सकती है। घर आओ तो अपने घर के काम करो और बच्चों की तरबियत करो और फिर अपने प्रोफेशन का जो थोड़ा बहुत काम है वो भी करो।
We now move on to the second segment of this program, looking at answers given by Hazrat Khalifatul Masih V, Ayyadahullah Ta'ala bin Nasrihil Aziz, to questions received by Ahmadis from around the world. These questions and answers have been taken from the Al-Hakam's Answers to Everyday Issues column. Someone from Canada wrote to Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen Khalifatul Masih V saying that Hazrat Khalifatul Masih IV, Rahmahullah, had stated in a question and answer session that there is no evidence to confirm that Hazrat Abu Talib was a polytheist, nor is there any evidence to suggest that he was a Muslim. He had not proclaimed the kalima. However, labelling him as a polytheist and damned is sinful. The person wrote that, on the other hand, there is a hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari that states the Holy Prophet ﷺ said that the fire will reach Abu Talib up to his ankles, which will cause his brain to boil. These two statements appear contradictory, hence guidance on this matter is requested. Hazur Anwar, in his letter dated the 19th of July 2022, provided the following reply to this question.
It is absolutely accurate to say that there is no evidence anywhere to substantiate that Hazrat Abu Talib was a polytheist. It is also true that Hazrat Abu Talib offered extraordinary support and assistance to the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Whether it was the grueling period of confinement in the Shayb Abu Talib or the relentless opposition from the polytheists of Mecca, he never abandoned the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam under any circumstance. Mentioning an incident involving the antagonism directed towards the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam by the disbelievers of Mecca and the support he received from Hazrat Abu Talib, the promised Messiah Alayhi Salatu Wasalam, states, when these verses were revealed, declaring the polytheists as impure, foul, the worst of creation, foolish, and progeny of Satan, with their gods as fuel for the fire and firewood of hell, Abu Talib called the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and said, O my nephew, your vilification has deeply angered the people. They are likely to kill you and me as well. You have called their intellectuals foolish, and their elders the worst of creation. You have termed their revered gods as fuel for the fire, and firewood for hell, and their entire populace as impure and progeny of Satan. I counsel you with good will to restrain your tongue and desist from this vilification. Otherwise, I have no strength to face the people. In response, the Holy Prophet ﷺ said, O uncle, this is not vilification, but a statement of facts, presented in the most appropriate and befitting manner. And that is the very purpose for which I have been sent. If this leads to my death, I gladly accept it. My life is committed to this path. I cannot desist from expressing the truth out of fear of death. O uncle, if you are concerned about your own vulnerability and inconvenience, then you are welcome to withdraw your support. By God, I have no need for it. I will never cease from conveying God's commands. They are dearer to me than life itself. By God, if I am killed in this path, I would wish to be resurrected and killed again and again. This does not cause me any fear. Rather, I derive immense pleasure in facing hardship in this path. As the Holy Prophet ﷺ was speaking, his face was radiating truth and luminosity, while he was also being overwhelmed by emotions. When he concluded, Abu Talib was moved to tears by the evident light of truth and said, I was unaware of this lofty state of yours. You are indeed in a different realm and stature. Go, pursue your mission. As long as I live, and within my means, I will stand by you. This entire content, although part of Abu Talib's story recorded in books, is divinely inspired, which God has revealed to this humble servant. Only a few phrases are added by me for explanatory purposes. This inspired statement clearly illustrates Abu Talib's compassion and empathy. However, it establishes with absolute certainty that this empathy was born after witnessing the Holy Prophet ﷺ's prophetic light and steadfastness. Thus, Hazrat Abu Talib extended his utmost support to the Holy Prophet ﷺ to the extent that he was willing to face the opposition of his own tribe for the sake of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. However, he did not renounce the religion of his people, and despite the insistence of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, he refrained from proclaiming the kalima to affirm monotheism, Tawheed. Hence, Hazrat Muslim Maud Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu writes regarding what happened upon the complaint of the chieftains of Mecca, who had advised Hazrat Abu Talib to deter the Prophet ﷺ from his mission, the Holy Prophet ﷺ's response thereto, and Hazrat Abu Talib's eventual announcement of his support for the Holy Prophet ﷺ. The significance of Abu Talib's response cannot be fully comprehended by those who are not acquainted with history, for they are unaware of another incident that sheds light on Abu Talib's emotional state and reveals how deeply he loved his tribe. When the time of his demise drew near, the Holy Prophet ﷺ, who had immense love for him due to his sacrifices and benevolent conduct, was profoundly distressed that he would die without embracing Islam. The Holy Prophet ﷺ would sit beside him, sometimes on his right, sometimes on his left, urging, O uncle, the time of death is near. please pronounce La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. There is none worthy of worship except Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. However, Abu Talib remained silent and offered no response. Ultimately, the Holy Prophet ﷺ insisted vehemently, being overwhelmed by emotions, and he would repeatedly urge, "O uncle, just pronounce the kalimah once, so that I may testify before God that you accepted Islam." However, in the end, Abu Talib replied that he could not abandon the religion of his people. In other words, his love for his tribe was so intense that he did not even desire heaven without them. A man who held such intense love for his tribe was so affected by the courageous response of the Holy Prophet ﷺ that he declared, "Fine, if my tribe forsakes me, let them. I will not forsake you." Thus, on the one hand, Hazrat Abu Talib supported the Holy Prophet ﷺ until his final moments. Yet, on the other hand, despite acknowledging the veracity of the Prophet ﷺ and his faith, he refrained from pronouncing the kalima to affirm the oneness of God, Tawheed. Considering this in the light of God Almighty's justice and equity, the Prophet ﷺ expressed the hope that on the Day of Judgment, his intercession might offer some benefit to Hazrat Abu Talib. He said it is hoped that Abu Talib will be placed in the intermediate level of the fire, which will rise only up to his ankles, causing his brain to boil. Had I not existed, he would have been in the lowest level of hell. In discussing hell, one should remember that, as explicitly stated in the Holy Quran and a hadith of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, it serves a function akin to that of a hospital, where sinners are sent for treatment. Now, just as in a hospital, patients seeking treatment for cancer are admitted alongside those receiving minor first aid, similarly, the statement of the Holy Prophet ﷺ should be understood in the same vein. Those opponents of Islam who tirelessly worked day and night to counteract and eradicate it, applying all their might and resources in hostility, will go to hell, much like a person afflicted with a grievous illness goes to a hospital and stays there for an extended period. Conversely, Hazrat Abu Talib's placement in hell can be likened to a person who goes to a hospital for a minor wound, receives the necessary dressing, and then promptly returns home. In the exegesis of verses 113 and 114 of Surah At-Tawbah, Hazrat Khalifatul Masih IV Rahimullah alayhi elucidates the various categories of polytheists, stating, Allah the Exalted states that this injunction does not apply to every polytheist. Some of them engage in polytheism out of ignorance and are influenced by customs and traditions. Yet they also fear Allah and do not engage in active enmity against Him. For instance, among Hindus, there are abundant examples of people who, while categorized as polytheists, possess the fear of God, seek prayers, and for whom believers also pray. Numerous Hindus frequently visited the promised Messiah ﷺ, acknowledging his piety and his evident and clear connection with Allah. They sought prayers from him and he prayed for them. Having borne witness to the fulfillment of his true dreams and revelations, as the community's reach expands, I increasingly receive letters from Hindus of India, and some Hindus even write to me after seeing me on television, expressing their impression that my prayers are answered, and then request prayers for themselves. Therefore, there are categories of polytheists. Some are adamant in their shirk, associating partners with God, and eventually become enemies of monotheism, Tawheed. For such individuals, it is strictly prohibited to pray or seek forgiveness. This subject has been elaborated in these verses, stating that it is not appropriate for them to seek forgiveness for the polytheists. لو كانوا أولي قربى من بعد ما تبين لهم. Even though they may be kinsmen, after it has become plain to them that they are the people of hell. However, their polytheism was already evident. What then became plain, tabayyana, if these individuals were well-known polytheists? Were their children not aware that they were polytheists? So, when do they cease to pray for them? It is مِن بَعْدِ مَا تَبَيَّنَ لَهُمْ, i.e., after it has become plain to them that they are condemned to hell. Commonly, it is understood that a polytheist is destined for hell. However, a polytheist who becomes a believer shall not go to hell. How can one discern that they are indeed doomed to hell? The way to understand this has been elucidated through the example of Prophet Abraham ﷺ by Allah the Exalted. He states, وَمَا كَانَ اسْتِغْفَارُ إِبْرَاهِيمَ لِأَبِيهِ إِلَّا عَنْ مَوْعِدَةٍ وَعَدَهَا إِيَّاهُ. And Abraham's asking forgiveness for his father was only because of a promise he had made to him. His supplication for his father was solely based on a promise he had made to him. Knowing his father was a polytheist, Prophet Abraham ﷺ still made the commitment to pray for him, a commitment that Allah Almighty allowed him to fulfill. Silence was maintained until Prophet Abraham ﷺ had completed his promise. It was then that God Almighty informed him that that individual, his father, was not only a polytheist, but also an enemy to Allah. God stated, فَلَمَّا تَبَيَّنَ لَهُ أَنَّهُ عَدُوٌّ لِلَّهِ تَبَرَّأَ مِنْهُ. But when it became clear to him that he was an enemy to Allah, he disassociated himself from him. Therefore, a polytheist who actively opposes Tawheed is in a different category compared to a simple-minded, good-natured polytheist who merely follows in the footsteps of his parents. One distinction here is that if the latter seeks prayers in his lifetime, it is permissible to pray for him. It is not prohibited. This is evident from the interpretation of this verse. Secondly, his damnation is not conclusive. A polytheist who becomes an enemy of God is certainly destined for hell. However, a polytheist who is not an enemy of God but is conventionally engaged in polytheism still has a chance. Another facet to consider is that if you separate the subject of shirk from religious labels, be it Muslim, Hindu, Jewish, or Christian, there are many Muslims who openly commit shirk, yet they are not enemies of God. Consequently, their funeral prayers are offered and supplications for their forgiveness are also made. If you visit Multan in Pakistan, for instance, the veneration of graves is so pervasive that one would be bewildered as to whether it is a Muslim country or a Hindu one. Similarly, amongst Christians, who are also regarded as people of the book, shirk is prevalent. Yet, despite the shirk, interactions with them are still permissible as prescribed by the Holy Quran for the people of the book. In light of these two verses, my understanding, regardless of the stance of Islamic jurists, fuqaha, is that one should unhesitatingly recite the supplication taught by the Holy Prophet ﷺ to be recited at the end of Salat, i.e., Rabbi ij'alni. This holds whether such a person is emerging from a Barelvi sect known for seeking intercession from the deceased and prostrating before saints. Because God has imposed a condition, that only if it is proven that such people are enemies of God and detest Tawheed, then it becomes impermissible to pray for them. However, since these people simultaneously declare themselves as muwahhideen, believers in the oneness of God, while also initiating acts of shirk, they are in a state of ambiguity. In their case, there is no prohibition in offering the supplication taught by the Holy Prophet ﷺ to be recited during Salat. Indeed, if there exists an individual who is aware that his parents are foremost in the act of shirk and are adversaries of Tawheed, then in such circumstances, my understanding is that one should abstain from offering this particular supplication for them. This is because that prayer would be in direct conflict with a clear injunction of the Holy Quran. Consequently, such an individual may complete his salat even without this supplication. One can still say, Rabbi gfirli walil mu'minina, Our Lord, grant forgiveness to me and to the believers, thereby omitting the contentious part of the supplication during salat. In any case, this is a matter on which differing opinions hardly make any difference. I have made my stance clear. As far as I am concerned, a Muslim who knows that their parents engaged in polytheistic practices, or they were even such Hindus who were virtuous and devoted to God, but were born into a polytheistic tradition, and thus did not get the chance to convert to Islam, one can legitimately pray for their forgiveness. As for Hazrat Abu Talib, although he was born during a period of polytheism, and despite his earnest endeavors and wishes, did not proclaim the oneness of God. He was not ensnared in the kind of polytheism practiced by those who were outright enemies of Tawheed and Allah the Exalted. These people would openly express their polytheism and were engrossed day and night in opposing Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Therefore, due to his virtuous nature and his support and assistance to the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Hazrat Abu Talib will neither serve as fuel for hell like the enemies of Allah, nor will he remain there for an extended period. Yes, for a brief period, just as one who suffers from a minor illness may go to the hospital for some time, Hazrat Abu Talib may also face the fire of hell briefly for treatment. This fact has been articulated in the statement of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
And that concludes another episode of Beacon of Guidance, where we look at the various questions delivered to Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen Ayyadahullah Ta'ala bin Nasrih al-Aziz through various virtual mulaqats and through letters, and his faith-inspiring responses. Until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.